Hi there, I'm Andrea Koppel, and it's time for coffee, the podcast where you get to hear firsthand what the jobs and careers that interest you the most are really like. Hey there, Java junkies. Welcome to another K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. By the way, K-Cups come in 3 sizes, single, double, and triple shots, or roughly 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes in length. So if you don't have time to throw back an entire caffeinated career conversation, these K-Cup mini episodes of T4C can give you a quick caffeinated fix, whether you're on the go or you only have a few minutes to binge. So grab your mug and take a chug, because it's time for a caffeinated career double shot K-Cup with my guest, Steve Taylor. So I'm kind of curious because I think that one of the challenges, especially that young people face as they try to find that first job, is that they're reading job descriptions and there are all these functions in the job description that they may not understand. They may not know how to do. And I hear over and over from T4C fans and other young people that I talk to that, well, because I didn't know how to do that, I didn't apply for the job. And I'm just curious, in your COO role, have there been any functions that you didn't know how to do and you've had to kind of hack your way to figure it out?
Yeah, 100%. I've never had a finance position, and finance and accounting has never been something that I've been responsible for. And sure, I've managed a P&L before, but I have an outsourced accounting firm that helps with our accounting, our books. But I'm now responsible for cash flow. I'm responsible for tracking how much cash we have on hand and paying vendors and receiving cash from clients. That's something I never had any experience in. So it was part of the job description. I, admitted to the hiring manager, my boss, that I didn't have that skill, but I was eager to learn. And I got 3 books. I ordered 3 books on Amazon. They're sitting on my nightstand right now. And every single night I'm reading about this part of the business that I don't know a lot about. Now, sure, there's a lot of on the job training. There's a lot of exposure. We have a CFO who provides a lot of that oversight, and I've been learning from him. But that's a part of the business that I knew very little about. And I think that's, as you progress through your career, you have to be self-aware to know that you're never going to know everything about business. And even if you know everything, there are parts that you probably don't know as well as you should. So it's not about faking it till you make it. It's about admitting where you're not as strong. And when you're in a position where it falls under your responsibilities, making sure you get as smart as possible on that. And then leaning on the team members. I lean into the CFO. I lean into the accounting team that we have outsourced. I lean into them all the time. I admit what I don't know, and it's been a great education.
Have you ever experienced imposter syndrome?
All the time. All the time. I think that is something that most people face, most people feel. But when I hear you read my bio or I look at my LinkedIn profile, I often think that I don't know who that person is, but they seem to have accomplished a lot. But I feel all the time that I'm not qualified, that I've never been a COO before. So what qualifies me to be a COO here at this company? But I think that is once you realize that everybody has imposter syndrome, and this kind of goes back to mentors. When you have folks in your life, whether it could be a father, an older brother, older sister, a manager, somebody you've worked with in the past, but when you have somebody in your life that is 2, 5, 10 years ahead of you in their career, and they're emotionally vulnerable with you, and they admit when they have imposter syndrome, you realize that, gosh, this is just something, it's like an epidemic. This is something that everybody experiences at all levels. And sure, you get more comfortable and confident in the roles you have, the responsibilities you have, and the job you have. But at the end of the day, nobody feels qualified oftentimes most people don't feel qualified to hold the positions they have. And I think when you are striving to be great, you make a point of surrounding yourself with people who are better than you. And I think that is something that is then inevitable. And if you're not, by the way, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And if you're not the smartest person in the room, you see how much growth and development you need. And I think that then imposter syndrome becomes a symptom of that. And that's probably a good thing.
Well, for the record, I too have experienced it many times. And I wish I actually had exactly what you said. Somebody who was older than I was, who I had that relationship with, who had shared the same about themselves. because you do feel alone and you can have a lot of self-doubt. And it's also speaking to the point that you've made now multiple times about being comfortable with risk. And if you want to grow, you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone. And you will be doing things that you maybe don't know how to do or don't even think you will be able to do, but you just have to have a certain belief in yourself that you will learn it. And exactly as Steve said, you're going to buy books, you're going to read the books, you're going to talk to people, you're going to lean on other colleagues, whether in your company or outside, and you're going to figure it out. Thanks for tuning in to this K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. If you want to listen to our entire caffeinated career conversation, please check out the show notes for this episode. Thanks so much for listening to Time for Coffee, where the professionals in the jobs that most interest you always have time to grab coffee 24/7, no matter where you live. I have one quick favor to ask you. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to Time for Coffee. Thanks so much.